Hello, everyone.
We have a special guest here walking across the screen. He loves the computer.
Hey Bob, this is Ike. Hey, it's about 10 minutes after 6.
Okay, we're still waiting for a few.
I think
Bill
so. Yes.
Kaufman just joined.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so I only see Commissioners Wheeler and Chase. Oh, and there's Commissioner Yoshikawa.
Commissioner Kaufman here. I'm just calling in on the phone.
Oh, okay. We are missing one. Looks like. Welcome, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
I will wait
Hello.
just another minute, see if we can get missing one commissioner. And then we will get started. Starting to get used to this. Okay. All right. And so I think we'll get started. This regular meeting will be conducted via telecommunication and is compliant with the provisions of the Brown Act and the Governor's Executive Order N-29-20. This regular meeting will not be physically open to the public. The commission meeting and its members and participants will meet via Zoom from remote locations. Those members of the public wishing to participate are asked to register in advance. And I think that's it. So I will call the meeting to order at 7:32 p.m. A roll call, please.
Commissioner Chase,
Here.
Commissioner Dooley,
Here.
Commissioner Fields,
Here.
Commissioner Kaufman. He might be muted. Commissioner Yoshikawa
Here.
and Chairperson Hoffman.
Here. Okay, we are all here. We're a short one commissioner, at least this month. Any announcements?
No announcements.
Okay. And can we get approval of the minutes from September 10th?
I move to approve the minutes from the September 10th CIC meeting.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Who was that? Was that Davis? Oh, Dooley. Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
minutes are approved. Do you have any communications?
None.
None. Any oral requests?
None.
Okay. And we will move on to reports from representatives. And I believe we have Carrie Perkins from the museum. It's October. I can't wait to hear what's going on.
All right, well, good evening, commissioners. Thank you for hosting me. The museum continues to be closed to the public, but staff that remains is committed to creating virtual programs. So some of what we have going on, most of it is virtual. We have our art show, which has been moved online, and that is our art show that was public submissions for youth category and adult. The theme is joy. That is finishing up on October 11th. So we do encourage everyone to go to our website, campbellmuseums.com. You can click on the art show logo right there. You can vote for your favorite artists, and they are public submissions. We've got 2D and 3D categories for youth, kids anywhere from 6 to 17, and then adults 18 and up. The winner of the 2D category, so the winner that receives the most online votes, plus we have 3 judges, and Chairman Kaufman is one of our community leader judges. Their tabulation as well will result in an overall winner, and the overall winner will have their piece of artwork turned into a mural that we are going to hang on the outside of the historical museum on the Civic Center side. So traffic headed west on Civic Center will be able to see that. Our art show is going to happen every 2 years. So we will be back in 2022 for another public submission art show. The Campbell Museums continues to seek public input on a couple of different things. We are collecting stories of people's personal experiences during the time of COVID. So it can be something as simple as how you made masks, to a personal experience or a tragedy.
Mhm. You're frozen, Carrie. Does everyone see that she's frozen, or is it
Yeah.
just?
No.
Or
Uh,
anything that you guys are
Okay,
all-
I want to mention that I'm sorry, Carrie, you were frozen for a second, but I do want to let the new commissioners know that a copy of the museum report and the adult center report is attached to the agenda and minutes. So if either Tina or Carrie get frozen again, you can always refer to those attachments later on.
And I apologize. I'm in my bedroom because my family is out in the living room and my internet is unstable in the bedroom. So I apologize. I hope not to freeze. I'll run through very fast. So you can go to campbellmuseums.com to submit your personal stories of COVID. It is incredibly important that we get people to document this. We have no documentation from the 1918 pandemic. And, you know, the more that we get right now, I know that people have corona fatigue and history fatigue, but you know, even if it's just a simple statement, we would love to collect it, or an image of you or friends or a business or anything of something that has been affected by COVID. It's worthwhile to us. We are also collecting personal stories and experiences from the BIPOC community. We are calling it Coloring Campbell. It is very important that we document unrepresented histories in Campbell. And believe me, there are a lot of underrepresented communities and histories that have been collected in Campbell. So we do have a form that people can share their personal experiences. If you're not comfortable with us collecting it, but you still would like to give perhaps an anonymous disclosure about any experience, we are happy to do that as well. And we will refrain from any personal information being entered into the record. And that can be found on our campbellmuseums.com website as well. For virtual engagement, we encourage everybody to go visit our YouTube page. We every week put out a new video. They're called What's in the Box videos that explore different artifacts that are found in our collection, the histories of them. They're done in a very fun, quirky way. They're anywhere from 5 to 12 minutes. So something interesting to look at. Things that you would probably never see if we had an exhibit. These are just items that are collected that, you know, most museums only show about 10% of their collection. So these are making their light of day through YouTube. We did have a musical fundraiser from our museum foundation featuring artist Jason Keyser. Just within the last half hour, that actually got postponed. It was supposed to happen tomorrow night, but we are going to reschedule it to sometime in December and turn it into a holiday musical fundraiser. So I apologize for that. We do have a couple other programs coming up on October 23rd, just in time for Halloween. We have History at Home, which is haunted places of the San Francisco Bay Area with a paranormal investigator, Jeff Dwyer. So that can be found on our website, campbellmuseums.com. It is going to be a Zoom link. $10 is your registration fee. And then on Tuesday, October 27th, we have a Tasty Tuesday with Mike and Nikki's Tasting Company, and they are going to actually create special tasting kits for people who register. So it's $10 again. You can register on our website, campbellmuseums.com. They are really fun. They're creating a bingo game. They're great speakers. They'll talk about honey, but also agricultural history and having a business that involves bees in Campbell. And then in November, we'll be back again for another History at Home and Tasty Tuesday. And those speakers will be TBD. I'm still in the works with those. All links, again, can be found on our website, campbellmuseums.com. We are also in November, I'm going to decorate some rooms in the Ainsley House. We won't have our traditional holiday program, but we are going to have an opportunity for families to come in and take their holiday photos in the living room of the Ainsley House. We'll, of course, practice all county guidelines with social distancing and safety protocols, but we will open the living room, have a small fee, probably $15. We have yet to put that on the registration link yet. And then we are also partnering with the community center preschool programs to offer virtual visits with Santa. in December. So we have a Santa coming. He's going to read a story in the living room, and we'll allow families to register for a 3-minute meet and greet with Santa, and we'll provide crafts for them to do while they're waiting for Santa. So we've got some fun programming coming up in November. And then we have been very fortunate to be able to get a company called Capture My Space to do a 3D virtual scan of the entire Ainsley house. So it is a virtual tour. They're also actually coming back next week to scan the historical museum. So I don't know if I can be made a co-host to screen share, because I'd love to just show you walk through. Okay. Let me get to my desktop. Okay. Sorry, give me a minute. I don't think it's allowing me to get to my desktop. Okay, can you guys see that at all?
Yeah, it's coming in.
Okay. Okay, so this is basically what it looks like. We'll actually have a start where people can start from the front of the house, but this is our raw version. We haven't added any tags, and it's actually called a Matterport tour. And so what you do is you can see my cursor with a circle circling around the Van Erp lamp. So you would have a little tag on there, and people would click on it and would give you a little information. But basically, you can move people through the house, and they can explore the rooms and click on links. And so the benefit for this is unlimited for us. I mean, it allows us to compete on an international scale with large homes that have virtual tours. It allows us to offer the public to view the house while we're closed. It allows me to create virtual education programs. So I can host field trips with schools and walk them through the house and create programs. But it also, more importantly, creates a complete virtual inventory of the house. And so should there be a natural disaster, we now have a virtual image of what the house looks like. So this is just a quick run through. I just completed writing all of the information for the tags. So for instance, we'll talk about the beds, we'll talk about the carpet. Trying to go through fast to save time. We'll talk about the foyer, different rooms, give family history, and allow people to learn as much information as they want or as little. And so that is basically the tour, and we will have the same one for, how do I stop sharing? The same one for the historical museum. So that'll happen next week. And it'll be, again, a 3D virtual tour, and allow me to be able then, as one person and one staff person, to create education programs. It's very cool. There are rarely any homes in this area that have that type of tour. So our goal is to get it up on the website by the end of October with all the information. And lastly, on my report, we are hosting weddings in the garden. So that's one more ability that we can use the tour for, is to actually create marketing for weddings. So believe it or not, we do have a program called Marry Now, Celebrate Later. So people who would like to have a wedding now, limited gathering, they can get married in the garden and then schedule their reception for 2021 or 2022, whatever they feel comfortable with. So our first one is actually on October 18th. They can have up to 60 people. County guidelines, of course, need to be enforced, or they could get married in the house with 3 people. So, and that's our square footage allows that. So at least it allows us to open up the garden and make use of it. And we have had a church that's been renting the garden every Sunday as well. So we are getting some revenue generated from the space. So that's my report. Questions?
Did you say that the maximum capacity for the weddings is 660 or 16?
It's 6-0 right now per county guidelines for safety protocol. And we are having people sign a waiver that they are ultimately responsible for contact tracing, mask wearing, hand sanitizing. And so that puts the liability on the people. We reserve the right to shut down events if we don't see people complying with Santa Clara County guidelines.
It's great
So,
though.
yeah. So, thank you.
Any other questions for Carrie?
I had one more question on the art contest. When does that close? When is the voting close again?
The voting closes midnight, October 11th. So you've got till Sunday.
Okay.
And it's very easy to go onto the website, and it is a web-based PDF document that, you know, you can click on an art piece you like, or you can go back and look through them all again, and it's very easy to do. So it's navigable, it's not hard, and there's some really, really well done pieces from different age groups. So
Excellent. Thanks.
yeah, thank you.
Carrie, is that the full set of art that I saw earlier this year?
Yes. So we had the artists submit their digital image, and we just put it up online with the artist info and everything about them that we had in the carriage house for the physical exhibit. Yeah.
Great. All right. I wasn't sure what had happened with that, whether it was going to keep going, because there's really cool art in there.
Yeah, and they were the artists, you know, we didn't have the ability to do it right away, but we got it up by summer so that we could at least have the public enjoy it, and people put a lot into it, and hopefully it brings people joy, which is the theme.
Who knew back
Yeah,
then?
I know, right?
You're ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks again, Carrie. We'll move on. Next is Tina Wong Erling for the your senior services supervisor. For those who don't know, we have several new commissioners, so this is their first time for the museum and for the seniors. So because just so people know, we alternate. So every other month we'll have these two, and then the other time we'll have the librarian. So go ahead, Tina.
Yes, well, good evening, Chair Hoffman, and the rest of the Civic Improvement Commission. Very nice to meet several of you new commissioners. I hope to have opportunity to get to know you a little bit better when the shelter in place is lifted. So you have my report. I want to start with the virtual Caregivers Conference. For the benefit of the new commissioners, this is an annual event that formerly took place in the Orchard City Banquet Hall at the Community Center, and it focuses on educating and supporting caregivers of elderly loved ones. You know, you may know of someone that's been a caretaker for either a spouse or a parent or even a grandparent, and that's the target audience. We just wrapped up a 4-part, 4-week virtual series. We pivoted as a result of the pandemic, and it actually worked out very well. Just today, we had a debrief with the planning committee, and we had 384 unique individuals that registered for the conference. And out of that, we were about 320 of them were brand new users, because we tracked former users that have attended the in-person conference. So that added a lot of individuals to our list. The average attendance was 90 that logged on per session. It just ended up being such a great benefit, for a community benefit for caregivers who are taking care of their loved ones, especially during this pandemic. The remarks, the feedback that we got was just tremendous on the various topics. So we met today, the planning committee, and we are planning a virtual conference for 2021. It'll be around the same time frame, probably in a similar format of a kind of a 4 or 3 or 4 part series over a series of several weeks. That seemed to work out well for individuals. And of these four sessions can be viewed on our website, caregiverscount.net. If you're interested in viewing any of these or actually accessing services for caregivers, you can find that on our website. So in terms of the adult center, as Carrie said, we are also closed. The community center has not reopened. So we've tried to become creative. In July, we launched quite a few virtual classes in the area of fitness, and even some non-fitness classes such as drawing, quilting. And the very latest is we added a couple of outdoor classes, which have been quite popular. This has included, of course, aqua aerobics in the outdoor pool at the community center. We've held outdoor strength training and body conditioning. And I really wanted to just tell you how creative our instructors have been. Number one, to operate their class outdoors, but also to adhere to all the county protocols, to ensure safety of their participants. We are discontinuing outdoor classes as the weather changes. Anyway, it's been a great success, and we're migrating those outdoor classes to virtual classes for now. So something new and exciting that we're participating in. So Active Aging Week is recognized by the International Council on Aging. It's a campaign that celebrates the positivity of aging and showcases the capabilities of older adults. So the city of Campbell is partnering with 6 other local cities in the area to celebrate Active Aging Week. And we're going to do this for the entire month of October. And, combining our collaborative resources, we're able to offer a 4-week series of different virtual topics, such as fitness, dance, art, cooking, how to use Zoom, and even cyber safety. So we're proud to take part in this, and Campbell is offering up our line dance instructor, who is immensely popular, and she'll be teaching intro to line dance. So that's something to look forward to and keep our seniors active and engaged in the community. I didn't put this as an update, but senior nutrition, our lunch program is still going very strong. We have our wonderful Rotary volunteers helping us with the curbside distribution. And we're really grateful for council's support and just to be able to serve our seniors during this very needy time. So that concludes my report. I'm available for any questions you may have.
Any questions from the commissioners?
No, lots of good stuff though, Tina. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tina, that's good news about the Caregivers Conference and having it available online, because I think my mom and I may check that out.
Please do.
Yeah,
Please, there's a session, if I could give a plug. It's the last session, and it was on dealing with parents and resistance. So very, very good. Yeah. Might be relevant to one or somebody you know.
I'll need to check that out.
Well, virtual is really good because a lot of times caregivers can't leave the people they're taking care of. So in a way, it's kind of gives you a new outlet to be able to get the information. So I think it's great. Okay, we will move on. Next up, thank you very much, Tina.
Thank you.
And Margarita, next we have reports from staff.
Yes. So good evening. I wanted to continue what the chairperson Hoffman brought up regarding our partners who join us monthly. You'll be seeing them more. Carrie is going to work with the Explore Arts subcommittee and helping that subcommittee develop and bring to fruition their plans. So we'll be seeing more of Carrie. She's going to join us actually for the item. So we'll be working with her in that capacity, and Tina will also be leading or co-leading with me the sub-grants, the social sub-grant application process. She's been very involved for many years, and it's actually a joint program with the city manager's office and recreation, community services and recreation department. So we'll be working with Tina in that capacity, and then our library partners as the Measure O bond money is implemented and we're renewing the library. This commission will be hearing more updates and on the development of the plans. So you'll be working with them even more deeply than just the monthly reports. That's exciting. This other item I'd like to report on is our commissioner recruitment. We're a commission of 7. Right now we have 6. We have a commissioner opening here in the Civic Improvement Commission. It's advertised via our website, and it closes, the recruitment closes October 23rd. So you still have a couple of weeks to get the word out and recruit some good talent and passionate person to join us on the Civic Improvement Commission. Because of the interview and appointment process, we may not have that new commissioner on board in November, but we will certainly hope so by December. And you might have seen that the downtown streets are open again, and we've now transitioned to a parklet program. The barriers for the parklets have already been installed, and I think what we're working on now is kind of the beautifying them. So putting the planters and ivy and things like that. So that's in development, but it's exciting how it's kind of transitioning, becoming more permanent. And lastly, I'm going to share my screen because I have a lot of information here. So I thought I would write it down and let you look at it. It's about voting. And most of you should have received your ballots. I just received mine today, but ballots have been sent out in the mail, and I wanted to give some information about where you can drop off or vote. So we have the Dropbox locations. We have one right at City Hall in our parking lot next to the U.S. Post Office box. So that one's convenient. The library, which is on our other side of our Civic Center. And I think I can't see because my Zoom screen is covering it, but I think it's Westmont too. Yeah, Westmont. Westmont High School has a Dropbox too. Those are 24 hours and they're pretty secure. And the Register of Voters comes and picks them up, so they get picked up pretty frequently. If you want to vote in person, there's early voting at the Register of Voters office on Burger Drive in North San Jose area. And there's a schedule here. Monday through Friday, there's during business hours, they have towards the end of the month, Saturday and Sunday hours, then they're open on election day. All of this is not only on the Register of Voters website, but it's also on the city's website. Then we have vote centers. If you want to vote on closer to election day, we have voting centers that are opening October 31st, which is a Saturday. So they'll be open Saturday through Tuesday. And there's a typo, the election day is November 3rd. But on election day, they'll be open 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And we have a location at the community center, the Roosevelt Room Q80. Is hosting a vote center, as well as the county, the administration building, the Santa Clara County Library Administration buildings on Dow Avenue. They are also hosting a vote center. Related to that, on our website, we also have a Find Your District tool that allows you to enter your address, and it tells you what district you're voting in, because the city of Campbell, for our city council members, has a district-based election system. You can only vote for the council member in your district. So if you're interested in finding out what district you're in, if you don't know already, there's a way that you can do so just by entering your address. And that concludes my report. Any questions?
Any questions for Margarita?
Are the parking areas that are out in downtown Campbell, are those, whatever you call the parklet?
Parklets, yeah.
Yeah. So are those going to be, is that designed to be something permanent, or how long will they be occupying those parking spaces?
So that they're semi-permanent. I think that they're definitely to the end of the year, and then councils will be discussing it in a month to find out kind of more. They're valuing it on a month-to-month basis, but there was significant investment made to procure the rails, the barriers. So I think we're committed to keeping it for at least another couple more months, but the weather is turning, so depending on that and the feedback of the businesses on Campbell Avenue to see how it's working out. the council is going to revisit. So my understanding is that on the 20th, next Tuesday, October 20th, the city council will hear its monthly update on the program. And so we might get a better idea of an end date if there is one.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Any other questions? If they need help with beautification on those, Margarita, I think there's a few people here who might.
Yeah, I was in San Luis Obispo last couple weeks ago, and I had pictures around the barriers. They did the plywood, and then they decorated the plywood similar to the art boxes. Like they were gorgeous, and it was a really nice way of beautifying the barriers and putting some local art. I did think of all of you. And I showed it a lot to people in the office too, so.
Okay, let's move on to new business. So the first item is the Campbell Public Art Black Lives Matter murals. And so we're going to get an update from the Explore Art Subcommittee.
Yeah, so I guess we just are still kind of forming the specific items that we want to look at. But as we discussed in our last commission meeting, we were going to go forward with, the plan was to move forward with the murals that we had access to from downtown San Jose and Redwood City, the Black Lives Matters, the solidarity pieces and allyship murals that were out and that we had available that we could display. After some kind of vetting and talking, yeah, Margarita had agreed to talk to the city manager and then maybe the attorney as well. But the feedback we got from the city manager was to that he would like to kind of hold off until A, after the election, and B, until the new year, because city council is kind of going through a new process with commissions, and that they're going to, have some more close conversations with the commission, and we can present to them, figure out, so that they have a deeper understanding of what we do and what we're focused on and what our work plans are and everything like that. So as far as the putting those murals up, that is not getting, we're not pushing that forward right now at this time. Just to kind of give you an update. But as Margarita had mentioned in our subcommittee meeting that she graciously joined while she was on vacation, she had said, it's not that it's not ever going to happen. It's just that, it probably isn't going to happen right now with the election and the timing and things. So, we kind of wanted to look at different ways that we can help but help bring art into the community. And so one of them, was a temporary art exhibit, like the mural panels that we talked about and showed you guys before. That was one idea, but we could make that kind of an exhibit that's rolling and changing, and it gets changed out. We'd have to figure out how we're going to source and curate the exhibit, right? But that's still an option that we can do and that we would like to do as a subcommittee. The second piece would be to determine a larger installation, or I should say a permanent installation of art, whether it's a painting, sculpture, a mural on the side of a building, something that's permanent and larger. But again, that requires a little bit more in calling out for artists, getting the ideas of, what we want to have and who's going to do it, fundraising, how you're going to source the fundraising, and then of course location where it's going to be, who's willing to host that, and how we're going to get that installed. And then the third piece that we talked about as a subcommittee was also, trying to look at, this is very, very long term, because obviously right now with COVID and budgetary restrictions and things like that, the city is most likely not going to be putting, any funding in place, but we are still planning to ask for it in case we they come up with some kind of funding. We would love to have that. And if not, we'll ask, and we'll keep asking and asking year after year. And, maybe even get to a point where there's a group of people that would like to see it on the ballot as part of the operating budget for the city, like some of our other neighbors have in various, communities like Cupertino, for instance. So they actually take a portion of the city's operating budget and dedicate it to art, whether it's 1% or 3% or 0.5%, whatever that may be. So those are kind of three, our three-prong approach, and kind of high level how we wanted to look at this from a subcommittee and what we'd like to see going forward. And then, we look to you guys too, to give opinions and feedback, and see, what you thought of that approach. Anything else, Bill and Davis, anything else that I missed kind of as a high level review?
No, I think that's right. And I think from a process perspective, what we were going to keep doing is meeting on how we would present this and talk about the matters you discussed, and potentially show that in the next council meeting. And that would be the one we'd all vote on or give input on and say, cool, we feel comfortable going to the city council with this, either in the November or December meeting ahead of the January city council meeting was the goal. So I think general input now is welcome, but there'll be more time for specifics as we keep working on a presentation.
Any questions from other listeners?
So I just wanted to jump in with a clarification. So the process with the work plans, that all commissions, the city council is interested in finding out what all the commissions are working on, right? Because you are they serve as their advisors, and sometimes they hear more from some commissions or others depending on what activities going out throughout the year. So the thought is that if all commissions present work plans in January, this would provide the city council an opportunity to kind of be involved in learning about what the commission is working on, and also an early opportunity to provide feedback, right? About, okay, well, this is great, and so when you present that to them, if you're asking for funding or anything like that, they're on board. There is an election. We will have at least one new council member. So there is an election, but I wouldn't say that the election is what's holding up the Explore Arts subcommittee concept. It's just more of as the city manager read the proposed plan. That's great. We already know that the council wants to look at all these commission work plans come January. So January is a good time to entertain it. So that's where Commissioner Ishikawa was referring to in terms of, waiting until January, and that it's not going to happen in November or December, but it's not a done proposal. And I've spoken with Carrie, and I think we're both very excited and love to hear the kind of like all the great passion around the arts, the Explore Art concept. So as you know, Carrie has a lot of experience and is a very good subject matter expert and leader. So I'm glad she's joining us so that she can help. Every time I talk to her, I learn so much. So I think we can really benefit a lot from her guidance in getting us a solid proposal to present to council, not only as to present to the city council in light of the work plan.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Carrie, anything you'd want to add?
I might talk myself down the step that you just gave me.
No.
No, I mean, I'm excited to work on the project. I really do feel it's valuable, not only just the BLM panels, but just art in Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
And having culture represented is key, I think, to a successful and thriving community. And so I look forward to working with the subcommittee.
And as you guys have drafts or you want input from us, Margarita can send out any drafts that if we want to kind of keep things moving, and not wait. And because I think it's great to have a whole new perspective on how we can do art in Campbell. And so your commission wants to support you as much as we can.
Yeah,
And-
and Carrie and I will join your subcommittee meetings via Zoom. So just let us know, and if we can make it work out, we definitely will.
Okay.
And just to I was just gonna say, just to confirm the procedural thing, what we need to do ahead of the January city council meeting is this commission needs to vote on whatever we want to present together, right? Is that the correct?
Yes,
Like, okay,
process, yes.
cool, great. We want to make sure we're crossing all the T's and dotting the I's.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So ideally, we get something, good enough to show them by the December meeting so that you don't have any, delay. They'll look at the
Yeah.
whole work plan, but this is a significant portion of it right now for this commission.
Yeah.
So, having all that, I would throw one thought out there as you're talking about funding. One of the things with the beautification grant is that we partnered. So there was a portion of costs that, the city paid for some and then, or finding a group, which I think you probably could in Campbell, of, who wants to fund, who wants to fund public art. And that's how we got the art boxes done, was, people funded that way. So they're very generous in that respect in Campbell. So, getting it funded is going to be, I think, the least thing. We just make sure that we get policies in place so nothing's slowed down.
And is there some policy we should read to make sure that whatever we do for fundraising, again, follows all the rules? Like, should we talk about that with like Margarita in a subcommittee meeting? Is that the right way to do it?
Yeah, I will make sure I get you whatever information you need, kind of in that forum, in the subcommittee forum.
And we can, and Margarita, we should share what we did for the Art Box program, if that's a way to go. It was a very simple Facebook page fundraising that way. And the city took care of taking the money, and then we paid the artists. And so, anything we can leverage that we've already done.
So I'll have to learn myself because I wasn't part of the staff at that time, but Diana might know a bit, and I'll learn myself. I have Al's cell phone number.
And I was on the committee, so I can help you.
Yeah.
And one of the, so in any case, I'm happy to help. We can figure it out. And everybody's done a great job, again, with the Brown Act when we're doing emails. Just a reminder, as much as we'd love to send it to everybody, that we send it through Margarita, or one person, and Margarita and I can check on that. So we've done great, and we have several new commissioners. So I'm kind of looking at our group, going, wow. I think Marianne, you're number 2 at longest at this point, which is we have a new group. So okay. So thank you guys so much, because, and Carrie as well, because, this is the whole idea. Let's make some different things happen in Campbell. And I can see the energy. It's awesome. All right. And then the next new business, not nearly as exciting, but very important. Social service subgrants. I'll let you, Margarita, you want to go through the schedule and let people, so I think Commissioner Kaufman and Yoshikawa and I are the only ones who have done this. So we need to kind of give a little background as well.
All right. So the thought here on this item being on the agenda was that we would give you a preview of our timeline, so that we can mostly do a calendar check right now. For those of you that have been involved and again, this is also going to be my very first time working on the social service subgrants, but for those of you that have been involved in this, in the subgrants, you know how intense it is for a few months as you're reading all the applications and you're discussing them with the applicants and amongst yourselves, and you're deciding the granting of the dollars. It can be intense. So we thought that we would give you right now a preview of what we were thinking of the timeline, just to get a calendar check. Is Tina still joining? Yeah, Tina's still here with us. Tina and Diana and I met last week to kind of put this together. and thought that we'd propose it to you. Tina, as I said, is involved in her role as this supervisor for senior service for the senior services and a joint project with our department. So I might actually have to defer to Tina for more subject matter knowledge, but in the work, I'm trying to go there on my computer so I can pull up the packet. We had the proposed timeline. If you have it in front of you, let me see, I'm gonna.
Yeah, so if you do have the packet, it's in there. If for some reason you can't get it up, we might be able to talk through it if everybody has a copy of them.
I'm gonna share my screen because I just got it up on my screen. All right. Okay, can you see, are you seeing this?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so we thought that we'd release the application in December, and it's a standard application that we'd be using the application that we've been using in prior years. The application deadline would then be at the end of January. Since it's December and there's some holidays in between, we thought this would be an ample timeline to give the applicants some time to put together their application and funding request. Then this commission would have a study session. We've discussed these in terms of that they're meetings of the commission, but there's no decisions made, and that's why they're called study sessions, because it's an opportunity for in-depth discussion on this topic. So you will get at that meeting, there's a matrix with the applicant summaries, as well as probably the applications attached to them, and the commission will get to discuss and kind of get their first read of all of these. Public hearings, that's where we invite the public and the applicants to give feedback, to provide their presentations, not only on their applications, but if anybody has feedback in terms of, I support this, or I have additional information in favor, or something new to consider, those are the hearings where we would consider that feedback. And then by April 8th, the commission would adopt the final recommendation. So that's deciding who's funded and at what amount. That thing gets forwarded to the city council on May 4th is what we're thinking. It's that's the next possible meeting for the city council. And then the city council votes on accepting your recommendation, or ask additional questions if they have any. That those funding recommendations then get filled into our budget for the next fiscal year. So in a nutshell, that's the timeline. Tina, do you have anything you'd want to add, or Diana, anything you'd want to add?
Just for the benefit of the new commissioners, the social service subgrants, I don't know how much was included in the packet. But these are dollars that are issued to local, mostly nonprofits that are providing services that the city does not provide directly. And why I'm involved is a lot of the current grantees are agencies that serve older adults. So just to add that tidbit of information.
Thank you. Yeah, we did not include the policy in this packet. We'll be diving into that next month as well. At this point, we just wanted to do a calendar check with you all and ask if there's any immediate comment or comment to the schedule. Now's a good time to share.
Yeah, the reason, thank you, Margarita and Tina. The reason that we're putting this out, this only happens every 2 years. So want to make sure that we have it planned out so that we keep it as part of our work plan, because there is a significant amount of work. And we do the study session ahead of the public hearings, because now when we may be live by then, but we may still be on Zoom. And we get, most of the grantees are similar year to year. Sometimes we get new ones. We get a certain block of money from the city council, and I don't remember what it was last year. And we know what that is though when we start the cycle. So when the applications go out, you know, those people, the people that asked for them before, and then probably some others. But Margarita, it might be nice, or Tina, someone to send out what we had done last year, even if it's just the sheet that shows all the different groups that got money and kind of how much money they got. We usually get a notebook because there's so much information that's provided, but it may be nice for the folks that are new to kind of get an idea of what the scope is in some of the organizations and how we did it last year. Just even that there's one sheet that might be helpful, one or two.
Yeah. Diana has the matrix. I think, Diana, can you send that out tomorrow?
Yeah.
We can do that, yes.
Great. Does anybody else have any questions at this point? We made and we purposefully went through the schedule. We're keeping the meetings at 7:30. The very rare study sessions may happen at 6:30, so we will try and give enough advance notice that perhaps something could be worked out for that date. But as long as we have a quorum, we're fine. So if someone can't make it, but we're really trying to give folks kind of planning, because life is hard enough if you don't know what to expect. So we're going to try and be as consistent as possible.
And the study session, that's going to be immediately before our commission meeting. And will that be are they going to be presenting at that?
No, they present at the public hearings the following meetings.
Okay.
But it is open to them if study sessions are always open. So if they choose, you know, this will layer into other things that we have. So, you know, go ahead.
If I just add, so the initial or the only study session in this case on February 11th will be an overview of the applications, and I'll provide probably jointly with Margarita an overview of the applicants and their funding requests and some background on their agencies and services.
And just for the benefit of the other commissioners who have not been through this before, you know, actually hearing, I mean, it's great to get input and stuff, but then when you have the representatives come for those public hearings, it's really interesting and awesome, actually.
Just out of curiosity, in the past, what has been the average number of applicants?
6 or 7, something like that.
Yeah.
I think something like that, and 55,000 to 60,000.
It's 55.
55.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's why I wanted you to see what we did last year, so you can kind of. Sometimes you have to make a decision. You only have so much money, and certain groups will ask for more than, you know. That's where our challenge is, because we'd like to give everybody what they ask for, of course, but you know, we've got to find ways to give it out as it makes sense. And there's background too. One of the things that we should have, as well as some history. So, you know, groups who come back time after time, at least for the ones that were here last year, will know what they did and, you know, what they're asking for and why. And because of COVID, there could be completely different needs than there were before, and it could be even more. You know, because it's more expensive, and, you know, Tina's already seen what the seniors are going through now and trying to be as creative as possible. So I think this cycle is going to be really, really important. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So where does that put us in the agenda? What did I do with my agenda?
Oh,
Here we go. Go ahead.
oh no, unfinished business.
Okay. All right. I have too many papers in front of me. Sorry about that.
Mhm.
So unfinished business is our work plan that we talked about last time. And the goal this evening is to take a look at the work plan, and we can approve it. And then if we have to adjust it, we can adjust it in future meetings. But this way we have something kind of set down. And, you know, depending on how things fall out, things may come off of the plan. We may need to adjust dates again, you don't know when a pandemic's going to show up or who knows what else. So that's the goal this evening, is to make sure we go through the work plan one more time. We went through and did major adjustments last time, doing a quick overview this time, and then we'll have someone make a motion to approve it once we've done that. So Margarita, can you share that?
Yeah. What, trying to get. All right. Does anyone know how to unminimize? There, I got it. I got it. All right. Carrie, I still see you. You are more than welcome to stay, but if you need to get going, that's, I think we're done with the Explore Arts item for your input. So thank you very much. Bye. Okay. So I think I have my screen up.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's our work plan. What we did is on the two, item one, the social service sub grants, and item 5, the neighborhood association grants, we went ahead and inserted timelines based on prior experience. I did communicate to the the neighborhood grants subcommittee that this is all tentative, so we're not tying their hands to this, and that we hope to discuss more at the November meeting in terms of whether this timeline will work out. But for, as the chairperson said, for purposes of planning, we thought we'd insert the dates based on past practice. Okay. And we do know that item number 2 is the process and criteria. So those two are kind of tied, and the number 2 has a much shorter window so that you can kick off number 5. But that's why those items have tentative schedules, just because we know we have an idea of what may work out for the calendar.
Okay. And I would ask, so I've looked over this, and we have our committees at the bottom. And the one question I would ask for the neighborhood sub-grant committee, and many of you may be the same, are also doing the Explore Art. Well, no. We have Commissioner Dooley, Kaufman, and Yoshikawa doing the neighborhood association, kind of a refresh of how we want to do the applications, given history that we know and how things have changed. And there may be some things need to be talked about around that. Is that subcommittee ready to tackle this right now, so that we can, move forward, hopefully have some kind of update next month on what we're thinking, and then because we got to get the applications ready at some point. But
yeah, so the subcommittee will be meeting next week.
Okay. So you're comfortable with this then? Your subcommittee?
Unless any of the other members on the subcommittee have questions on this schedule, I think we'll be okay with that. We'll meet once or twice before the November commission meeting, and hopefully have, the process and criteria all tightened up for that. And the tentative schedule looks good. We will obviously discuss it in the subcommittee meeting just to, verify and confirm, but yeah, just glancing at it, it looks good.
Great. So I would ask if anybody had any questions or concerns of anything that needs to be changed or removed before we get a motion. Give the commissioners a chance to have discussion.
Sorry, I was trying to scroll up. Margarita, can you go to the top of the page and I just wanted to kind of one glance all the way down. Yeah. Okay. It's just 1 through 10, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay, right there is perfect. You can see everything.
Okay.
And Margarita, one question: if for some reason, so we choose to approve this evening, if something comes up that needs to be added and modified, we're able to do that with a vote of the, we can do a modification to this with a vote through the commission, correct?
That's correct, as long as we notice it. So let's say this was already adopted, this was already an adopted work plan, and you wanted to remove or delete an item, then you'd say, well, we want to do that. And then in November is when you would make that change, right? Because we have to give the public an opportunity to find out that you want to change your work plan, and then have the opportunity to provide feedback on that. So that you couldn't necessarily do it at that second, but you can do it at the next meeting. That's for substantial changes. So that's if we're removing or adding an item.
Okay.
If it's a schedule change, you can do that with if it's just a schedule change, you can do that without without having to wait another month to notice it.
Yeah, we've done that before. We've adjusted dates because they didn't make they didn't make sense given what was going on. As long as the work plan item didn't change, we were
Correct.
okay.
Do we want, for the line number 4, explore arts, explore art projects, do we want to put dates? I mean, I don't know if we just want to put it for the entire year, or do we want to say January through, the fiscal year? I don't know if we're going.
Yeah, I think whole year, and then I think we could probably remove explore, and I think we want to do some stuff. So I don't know if we could give you an alternative naming for this.
Yeah.
Just call it the public art program.
Well, you can explore art projects is fine, really, and you can say that we're doing a pilot program, and you put in the dates from now to through the fiscal year through next year, and that keeps you open.
Mm-hmm.
In such a way. Margarita, does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes.
Because what we want to do is keep it open so that you don't have too much detail to lock you into something you're not ready for or whatever. But
Sounds good.
But we can say pilot program and put today's date through end of next year, something like that, and then see what comes out of it.
Okay.
I have a question. This is Bill. In terms of the start date on the schedule, I understand it behooves us to keep it open and extend it as long as possible. Is there a problem with putting the start date, moving it up, like January or something?
Well, you guys are already working on it, though. You're working on your exploration, so you should get credit for that, actually.
Yeah, I just didn't know if that was going to lock us in on some sort of deadline where we had to have something ready. That maybe
it won't.
Okay.
It won't lock us into anything.
Okay.
So do we want to, just change the dates from what were we talking, like August or just September? August, I think we started talking about.
And then you can just do it through next year and I would have a sub bullet in there that says pilot program.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Because that way, when somebody else sees this, they'll go, oh, okay, there's a pilot program and you're going to talk about it. So
yeah, I guess, so to Davis's point, I mean, Davis, are you comfortable with it being called Explore Art? Because when we talk about these subcommittees or these projects, we do typically have a formal name like Art Outside the Box or Capture Campbell or things like that, Campbell Cares. So, if the subcommittee doesn't necessarily like the name, I mean, is the formal name, are we talking about it being Explore Art Projects, or is it just like Explore Art Campbell, or,
This isn't, because you guys have a pilot program. So until you go into, even for the art box, I'm not even sure we knew that's what it was going to be at the beginning.
Okay.
This seems fine to me, because it seems like if we do want to adjust naming for whatever reason, we can always do that. But for the logic all made sense to me.
Okay, great. So we'll just leave it as is and add the dates.
Yeah.
Can I confirm the dates? Would that be August 2020 to August 2021?
So what I've been hearing from the commission is that you'd want to put a calendar year, correct? And I know that in the past, the work plans, the commission work plans have been a fiscal year work plan, but with taking these to council in January, I believe we're going to be changing the timing anyways to have calendar year work plans. If the goal is to have the work plans go to council in January, we're going to be shifting anyways to the calendar year format. So given that this project is gonna, we anticipate that it's gonna be a calendar year project, I think it's fair if we just write 12/21.
Is that what so when we present to the council, the city council, it's not going to be for FY21, it's going to be for calendar year 21?
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a little bit of that has to do, I had a short conversation with Chairperson Hoffman about that, and some of that has to do with that in December, the city council elects a new mayor, not elects, appoints a new mayor amongst themselves, and that new mayor begins truly his or her position in January. So some of this, it does make sense for the council to look at these in a calendar year perspective. And it gives the commissions and staff also about 4 months to build in any budget requests, because in April is when we'll start building our budget.
Okay.
So we're looking at January 2021 through December 2021
No, what I heard was August.
or August.
Yeah. To acknowledge the work you've already done.
Oh,
Thank you for the clarification.
I'm sorry. And this is unusual, as Margarita said. We're trying to work with the new outline that the council is using. And so we'll do our best with what we're putting here. And just to add this one, we want to add some detail for the subcommittee, which makes good sense. And, then we see how it all falls out at that meeting, in January, because we don't know what their thoughts are. There may be some things that they want to add to our work plan. We don't know. So this is all new to all of us. So
I just wanted to, can we make sure that on the top, when we're talking about this work plan, since it is going to be, pretty atypical, can we put that it's for FY21 or FY21 plus second half of calendar year 21? Like, I don't know. I mean, or just put the time frame as, August 2020 through December 21.
Well, if we're going to do that, I would suggest the fiscal year started July 1st. So then we do like 7/1/20 to 12/21. And when we present it to council, we will say that the commission is accustomed to operating under a fiscal year work plan, and we're adjusting to, for the new calendar year format. So therefore, we're looking at about an 18-month work plan. And it works out because of COVID. There was, many months of no meetings or different type of work that we've been doing. So an 18-month work plan is like a 12-month work plan in a regular year.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
And I think that's a really good point as well. So any other questions on the work plan? But I think it's good to have some dates up there. So we're talking about what we're talking about. It should say Civic Improvement Major Work Plan. I don't know if there it is. Okay.
Sure. Actually, Chair Hoffman, if I could make a comment about item number 9, elder abuse awareness.
Yes.
So that was actually slated for the current calendar year 2020. And because of the pandemic and our closure, I didn't initiate any type of elder abuse awareness activity or event. So I appreciate the commission carrying that over to 2021. I just want to make a little note and caveat that I just don't know what the staffing level will be at the adult center. Currently, we have 2 full-time staff. We are down 1 full-time person. And as much as I'd like to, really raise awareness on this very, very important issue, I'm just not sure the staffing I'll have even spring of next year. So I just wanted to bring that to the commission's attention, as if you choose to keep this item on the work plan.
Okay, then maybe it makes sense. Tina, I'm glad you're here while we're talking about this, because when we talked last time, you weren't. And we did put it on because we had talked with you about this. And what do the commissioners think? Given what we know, is this something that should be removed from the work plan?
I would like to see it remain on. And because especially since this is an 18-month work plan and we have all the way through December of next year. So if in the spring it looks like we can't swing it or do, figure out something or hone in on that, then we could always make the request to remove it from the work plan.
Okay. Any other comments on the work plan as a whole? And a motion. Does anybody want to make a motion?
Sure. I'd like to move to approve the 18-month work plan for the Civic Improvement Commission, including the changes discussed on the Explore Arts date and sub-bullet of pilot program.
I'll second.
Was that Kaufman? Okay. I'll do a roll call. Commissioner Chase?
Here.
Commissioner Dooley?
Yes.
Commissioner Fields?
Yes.
Commissioner Kaufman?
Yes.
Commissioner Yoshikawa?
Aye.
And Chair Hoffman?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Kind of feels better to finally have our work plan together. Usually we have this done in like May or June or July, somewhere around there. But COVID messed us up this year, but we got it. And the work plan looks great. Several really important things are on there. So thank you guys. Thanks for all that input and looking forward to doing all this. So next up, good of the game. And that is, if there's anything you want to share of what's, events or anything that you think is important to share this month, feel free. It's like open mic. I don't have anything this month, believe it or not. I almost always do, but I don't.
I just had a quick question. Does anyone know if the merchants downtown are planning to do anything for Halloween? Like, they've done a lot of different formats and things in the past. And I know with COVID, it's kind of Halloween's canceled, but you hear everything from one end to the other. So I haven't heard anything about.
So normally our group is one of the organizers. So since I haven't heard any organizing, I don't believe that we are going to do the normal, because normally we give out, our group gives out books and then all kinds of things you do. Yep. Due to COVID. I believe any of the events that I would normally tell you about for the rest of the year, I'm pretty sure are canceled. Yeah. They're virtual as much as possible. So we'll have to go to the museum website and do all their virtual events.
Exactly.
Which sound really cool.
Yeah, the haunted, haunted paranormal activities and all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and check out the Joy the Joy exhibition that she talked about and go in there and vote. So I before COVID, this was in February when we did our initial voting, and amazing pieces of art, just amazing, all different kinds. And they were going to have a gala and all kinds of things. And anyway, it's worth taking a look at. So that'll keep us entertained instead of trick or treating. We'll need to do that in the next few days. Okay, next up, subcommittee reports, except that we really talked about both of these. We talked about the Explore Art projects and the Neighborhood Association Assistance Grant. Is there anything with either one of those that we missed that we need to still cover?
No.
Okay, then with that, I will adjourn the meeting at 8:45 p.m.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.